Hello everybody, Steve here from Appleby Games. Just got a wee break in the day's busyness. No customers are in the store right now, so I thought I'd recommence the story of Nigel Nit-Boy that I started the other day. It gave me great pleasure actually reading that, and I got enjoyment out of reading it, as I always do, reading David Williams' short stories, and any of his stories. In fact, he's fantastic. So I'm just going to continue from where I left off the other day. I finished page 57, and I'm now starting page 58. You'll be able to see that and it'll pop up on your screen, and you'll be able to read along with me and see some of the fantastic and very amusing illustrations that accompany the text. All right, let's continue from where we left off, shall we? Now, you may be wondering why Nigel wanted a head full of nets. Please let me explain. Ever since he was a toddler, Nigel had spent his days reading comics. The boy was short for his age, if you don't count the wild bush of hair on top of his head, and he wanted to be strong and powerful, like the characters in his comics. However, Nigel had had a very normal upbringing. He'd not been lucky enough to have been bitten by a radioactive spider, or come from a Viking planet, or fallen down a well of bats. Batman, for the record. Besides, he found superheroes a bit boring. They were always doing good. The supervillains were so much more thrilling. Before long, naughty Nigel had a plan. One morning, as the boy was standing in the bathroom cleaning his teeth, he looked at himself in the mirror. His hair was now not so much a bush, more of a hedgerow. Nigel could not remember the last time he had either cut or combed his hair. Buzzing in and out of this hedgerow of hair were billions of nets, forming a dark cloud of nets around his head. The day has finally come. My net-based superpower is ready. From this day on, the world will know me only as Nit-Boy. Best of all, the name hadn't already been taken by any other superheroes or supervillains in the world. So now that Nigel had all his nets, he went about getting a costume made. Fortunately, the boy's Auntie Pat was quite good at sewing, and put together a supervillain costume for her nephew in no time. Nigel wore a cape fashioned from one of his mum's skirts. The NB logo for Nit-Boy sewn by Auntie Pat. His dad's old Y-fronts. His nana's tights. Wellington boots. Nigel had his superpower. He had his name. His costume was on. He was Nit-Boy. At once he began his supervillainy. The next morning he strode to school, his cape flapping in the wind. First, Nigel vowed to get revenge on his geography teacher, Mr. Drumhum. Nigel found geography boring and spent most of his lessons reading comic books. Mr. Drumhum had given the boy detention after detention. Now Nit-Boy stood at the door to the classroom. Initially there were hoots of laughter from the other children. What with his costume and his shrubland of hair, the would-be supervillain did look quite a sight. Ha ha ha! However, the laughter turned soon to silent awe as Nit-Boy called out his first command. Gnats! Swarm! The billions of gnats that were whirling around his head formed a black mass next to him. Nigel, what on earth do you think you are doing? Demanded Mr. Drumhum. Gnats, attack! Shouted the boy. And we'll end today's chapter there. We just finished page 61 of Nigel Nit-Boy. No one has come on the store while I've been reading, so that's been a blessing. Please tune in again, either tomorrow or the next day, or when I get my next opportunity to continue reading chapter 62, Nigel Nit-Boy by David Williams. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and I'll catch you all again very soon.